Gary, we'll talk about today's UEFA meeting in a second, but first of all, news tonight that the government are to ban mass gatherings of over 5,000 people until the end of August. What does that mean for the FAI, and what's your reaction?
Well, it's just breaking news, Carl. So I think probably in two respects. One, I mean, the obvious question for us will be, can we hold the international matches in the autumn period? So we really need to be able to hold those matches and have mass gatherings in September. So hopefully we can get to the end of August, and that 5,000 limit will be increased. On the other hand, it gives us an opportunity with the League of Ireland clubs. So that's a significant input now into the debate we'll be having tomorrow with the NLAC, because 5,000 could be a level in which we could now resume the League of Ireland. So that's a significant input. So we need to take that into account, along with all the other factors which we're now analysing in advance of sort of making a decision on the 5th of May, when the government will make their formal position known.
And will you, in the meantime, look to talk to government about this news?
Yeah, I mean, like everything else, the devil's in the details. So we really need to understand what they mean by 5,000 in terms of mass gatherings, and whether that applies in stadiums, and what is the criteria that we would have to comply with. We have been working with the medical team in UEFA, who are actually helping us with guidelines. But obviously, we need to talk to the HSE and try and understand whether or not they would allow mass gatherings in football stadiums, and if they do, up to that level of 5,000, that could be a significant breakthrough for us.
You've attended a meeting today with UEFA and all 55 member countries. What can you tell us about the meeting?
Well, Carl, I think there was a strong desire for UEFA to finish the domestic and the UEFA competitions this year, so they're kind of sticking with that principle, and I think there's a very, very strong desire within UEFA to finish the domestic, probably recommence in July and finish by the end of August. They have a couple of scenarios where they concentrate on domestic first, and then the European competitions in August. So that was the clear message coming across. I think final decisions probably won't be made till the 27th of May, but kind of a really strong desire to keep focused on that.
Now, Ireland, of course, is in lockdown until May the 5th, and we're looking at a potential return date for the League of Ireland on June the 19th. Is that feasible, Gary? I mean, after what we heard from the Minister at the weekend, Simon Harris, and then from what you heard today, is June the 19th realistic?
Well, I think we'll wait until we hear what HSE and the government have to say on the 5th. So, we're working through the NLAC, and we are considering all the options. We've got a number of scenarios, which include, putting it back. It includes working behind closed doors. It includes sort of looking at restricted stadiums. So I think until we hear what the government have to say and what their advice is, we really can't make a decision. I think the most important thing for us at the moment is to analyse all the options, look at all the scenarios, and be ready to make a decision that's appropriate.
Of course, as you said, UEFA have made a clear indication that they want top division domestic competitions finished this year. In terms of the European competitions for Irish clubs who are about to go into qualifying rounds, etc., what's the latest on that?
Well, the latest, they're sticking with the dates. So if the Irish clubs look like they will be competing on the 28th of July, so that's probably the most optimistic, and they have two options, one starting 28th of July, but one only a week later. So they're still committed to making sure that the European qualifying competitions, for our clubs, take place in late July, early August.
And finally, Gary, any update today on the playoff against Slovakia for the Euros?
Yeah, there's been a slight move in that originally we thought it may well be November. It looks like now that the semi-final is the preferred option in October. So they don't want to have the semi-final and the final of the playoffs in the 1 month. So it looks like the Nations League's matches will be in September and October, with the semi-final playoff in October and the final playoff in November.